الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد يقول الله تعالى ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويقول الله تعالى ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويقول الله تعالى ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا أما بعد Today my beloved brothers, inshallah what we're going to talk about is one of the most beautiful characteristics of a Muslim, and that is the characteristics of taqwa. A subject that is very dear and beloved to every single Muslim, but more importantly, it's very dear and beloved to the Prophet ﷺ. And more important, it's most dear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And today, if you go to the store to buy something, they don't care who you are. The most important thing is, do you have the money to pay for it? If we go to the store right now here at the mall or the Walmart, you could be the richest person in Sudan, for example, but you're walking with a Sudanese dinar, they're going to laugh at you. They don't care how rich you are. What they want is a dollar currency. Same thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment, the most important thing to Him is one currency. So what is that currency that's more important to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When we come on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us, what do you have? At that day, it doesn't matter how much cash we have, how much money, where we're from, what degree, what diplomas, all that. وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا Allah says that we come in front of every single deed that we did, and that they did, فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. It becomes just like the dust. You throw it, it has no value. The degrees, the color, the race, the country, the money, the bank accounts, everything has no value. There's only one thing that has the most value in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is how much taqwa you have. Two people might live the exact life that they have, and one of them enters the highest point of Jannah, and one of them the lowest point of the hellfire. Why? Because of taqwa. What makes one of us better than any one of us? The Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even describes that in the Quran. And the word subhanAllah, when we translate that verse, or this word, we make a very big mistake. We say the best of you. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. We say, Allah says, the best from amongst you is the one that has taqwa. Allah did not say the best. Allah said even better than the best. Why? Karam is different than afdal. Afdal means the best. But akram means as if you are giving to Allah. As if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is accepting your gift. Karam means kindness, generous, and akram. Kareem and then akram. You are the most generous one. Not only are you a good person, but you're so good that you're giving. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna akramakum indallah atqakum. So the currency on the Day of Judgment, the only thing that you can cash on the Day of Judgment that has value in front of Allah is your taqwa. So today we want to talk about taqwa, the subject of taqwa. What does taqwa means? And subhanAllah, taqwa is a very big subject. And no matter how we speak about taqwa, it's very hard to describe it. So usually the best way to describe it is by giving examples of taqwa. Sometimes it's very hard to explain it, that sometimes if you give an example, it makes it easier to understand it. So inshallah, in the next few minutes, we're going to look at some examples of taqwa, actual examples of taqwa. One of the scholars, and I think it was Ali ibn Abi Talib, was asked, what is taqwa? And he said to the person asking, in one example, he said, can you imagine yourself walking in the middle of a street, a street with a lot of broken glass and this and that, and you're walking on it? A lot of, exactly, thorns and dangerous things that could, hurt you and so on. How would you walk through it? The shawk. Now, for the person said, I'm going to walk very carefully. I'm going to be careful not to step here and I look here and I look there and whatever. Especially those that walk in the forest and, all those things. You know what that example means. So he says, I walk very careful. And he said, exactly like that is what? Is taqwa. Because the haram is all around you. And you are very selective in every step that you don't fall into that which is haram. And there's so many beautiful stories about it. And the thing is, the taqwa, it shows up where? Taqwa is not when things are easy. When you're in the masjid and you're about to pray and you're with the brothers, when it's Ramadan and you're fasting, that is not the taqwa. This is a part of taqwa because you're doing the good deeds and you're increasing in the good deeds. But the true test of taqwa is what? Is when you are by yourself and nobody else is watching you and you have the haram accessible to you. What do? When you are very, very broke and you don't have any money, and here's an opportunity to work in something that is haram where you can make all the money that you want. That's where taqwa comes in. That's where the test comes in. And that is why one of the chapters in the Quran in which the word taqwa is mentioned the most is what? Surah Al-Talaq. It's only 19 verses, but it's talking about what? Divorce. In the moment of divorce, are you happy with your wife? Are you comfortable? What happens? Are you happy with her? No, you're what?
You're upset.
You are very upset and you feel like exploding at her and she feels like exploding at you and she wants to leave the house and you want to get out of the house or whatever and this and that or whatever. Allah says, وَلَا تُخْرِجُوهُنْ. You cannot let her go out of the house. وَلَا يَخْرُجْ. And imagine you're angry and you want to get rid of her and she wants to go to her father's house and you talk to me like this and this and that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, you can't let her go out of the house. And you cannot go out of the house, the wife. So what does Allah say at that moment? What's the only thing that could hold you from sending her out of the house and she leaving the house? وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَن يَتَّوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. A few verses after that, this. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يُكَفِّرْ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ وَيُعْظِمْ لَهُ أَجْرًا. And then other issues, and then she's leaving and the kid, and they have the baby, and how do you... وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مِنْ. So the word taqwa is repeated the most where? When there's a lot of temptation, when there's a lot of hardship. You come in Surah An-Nisa, in inheritance, in mirath. Inheritance, khalas, the person died. I can take all the money to myself. I'm the brother, I am the father, I am the wife, I am the older son. I can take all of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the verses. No, the boy takes this, the daughter takes this, the son takes this, the wife takes this. Wattaqullah. You have to be what? Mindful of Allah. In times when you can take and nobody knows. The money is there for you to take. You can take it. Allah says no, be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where? In this situation. Again, in situations of what? A lot of things that are available. So taqwa, the true meaning of taqwa happens when? Is when we have a lot of haram in front of us. We have the haram that we can see and nobody can stop us. We have the woman that we can abuse and nobody can stop us. We have the money, we have the wealth, we have the things that we can see, things that we can hear, things that we can go to, and nobody can stop us. Except one thing, and that is to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching over us. The most important verse in the Quran about taqwa is what? أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى. Did he not know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees him? Allah speaks in the Quran about people that are very sinful and this and that. And then he asks a rhetorical question. Does he not know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees him? You know the best example, because I have to go like 20-30 miles every day on the highway. The best example of taqwa, a practical example, وَاللَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, is when I'm driving on the highway. Suddenly I see a police officer under the bridge. What happens? Oh, I'm speeding. What happens? My heart starts to beat and immediately what?
Hit the brake.
You hit the brake, you slow down, and you feel the moment, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the highest example. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. That I'm about to fall in something, I'm doing this, and then I remember what? أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى. I know the only one who can benefit me, the only one who can destroy me, the only one who can lead me to Jannah, the only one is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he implants taqwa in the kids at a very young age. If you're a parent and you want to protect your child, don't worry about the degrees. It's good to have degrees, it's good to have money, it's good to have all of this, but there is one thing. If you live for your children, they are blessed. And if you don't live for your children, wallahi, if you leave them the degrees and the money and the wealth and the bank accounts and the houses and the apartments, they're lost. And that is the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have a child who has taqwa and understands taqwa and live by taqwa, after this don't worry about anything. Don't worry if they have money, if they're poor, if they have degrees or whatever. And if you have a son or a daughter that has all the wealth in dunya, and the degrees, and the this, and wallahi they don't have taqwa of Allah, they're not mindful of Allah, they don't care whether they fall in the haram, or they see the haram, or they listen to the haram, or eat the haram, or drink the haram, you have lost the world and everything that's in it. And the Prophet ﷺ says, كَفَى الْمَرْأَ إِثْمًا أَنْ يُضِلَّ مَنْ يَعُولُ. The worst sin ever is not the sin that you do, but the sin that Allah give your wife and your children responsibility in your neck, and you waste them. كَفَى الْمَرْأَ إِثْمًا أَنْ يُضِلَّ مَنْ يَعُولُ. This is your children, this is your wife, you're in charge of them. And what do? You feed them, you give them the food, you buy them the TV, the Wii, the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the time for salah. And this is something we as Muslims, we need to change from today. How many times do you go to the house and it's time for salah, and the father, Allahu Akbar, he goes and prays. The mother, Allahu Akbar, she goes and prays. And the kids are right over there. And we don't even tell our kids, come and pray with us. So the meaning of taqwa has to change. Another problem with